Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having a Capricorn Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, first off, some of you may remember that when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I had a rising sign series, but the videos were a little concise and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is do another series on the rising/ascendant signs and make them a little bit longer and more descriptive. Anyway, first off, as far as Capricorn Ascendant goes, the appearance of physical body, well, Capricorn Ascendant can have a long face, can be long in shape. Um, the cheekbones can be emphasized. The complexion can be a tannish or swarthy type complexion. The hair can be dark, um, and cheekbones can be emphasized. The forehead may be sloping. The jaw may be upturned. Um, Another thing is that though they tend to be slender in build, but others can be a little bit more stout and compact. And the ones that are slender may have kind of like a wiry type of build to them. Might be lean, but could be wiry and sinewy as well. And now, the forehead again can be sloping, but when you have the eyes of Capricorn rising may be deep set. Um, the nose may be long, and the chin and chest may be narrow. And the mouth, now the mouth itself, the upper lip may be thin, but the lower lip may be a little bit bigger, maybe protruding even a little bit. And the thing too is, notice with Capricorn rising people, that even the ones that have like blondish hair, they may look like the hair should be dark. And generally, Capricorn rising tends to be tall in stature, at least medium, middle stature to tall in height, and the trunk tends to be long as well. And the limbs may tend to be either proportionate or a little bit shorter in relation to the trunk. And another thing, as far as the appearance goes, of Capricorn, the shoulders may be broad, and the hands can be square. The Earth ascendants, the hand shape tends to be squarish. I wanted to add to this that naturally you have to factor in race and ethnicity, because this is just a general video. As far as description for the physically for Capricorn ascendant or rising person. And Capricorn ascendant, they could also have somewhat disconsolate, dejected look to them. They're often very serious in terms of their expression. Now another thing as far as Capricorn ascendant or rising goes, the outer demeanor and personality can be disciplined, structured, responsible, and very consistent. I mean, Earth ascendants in general, collectively, have the proclivity to be reliable, and are usually timely with things and will get things done, on time in most cases. And the thing is, a lot of that can be attributed to the premeditative energy of fixed ascendants. And again, that Capricorn, especially because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is connected with planning and premeditation. Now, continuing the outer demeanor and personality of Capricorn rising can also be very ambitious. And Capricorn ascendant people often have, they have that mindset where the ideas are going to take precedence over words. They're more about the concepts, less words, and even more action, as opposed to actual, talking about things, I would say. So, that's in the outer demeanor again with the Capricorn ascendant, some other things, you know, um, connected with Capricorn rising being dominated often by career, and they're often very capable of looking after what interests they have of their own. Earth ascendants do tend to be self-protective and economical as well. Now, the first impression, the ascendant is connected with the first impression. So the first impression of Capricorn rising can be one that's mature, diligent, responsible, premeditative, has good business acumen, and someone that's conventional, basically someone that's orthodox, conventional, not generally inclined to go outside of the box, so to speak, maybe a little bit authoritative, and also can have good powers of concentration as well, but can also be very prudent and cautious. And the thing about and also a little bit very serious as well. And the first impression of Capricorn rising can be one that is rather stern and serious, and that's their look often. Another thing about Capricorn rising, the ascendant is connected with one's outlook on life. So, Capricorn rising's outlook on life can be rather, conservative and conventional. It's one, that's very realistic. Um, one that's very pragmatic. It's connected with a lot of, just laborious efforts that manifest in success in life in general. And one about being, as well. But the thing about it is, the feminine signs, are considered negative, and the terms of their outlook, and you have the masculine signs, which are fire and air signs, are more positive. And again, the feminine signs are earth and water signs. So generally, the outlook on life for Capricorn rising can be negative and pessimistic. But again, the thing about it is they do have that mindset where laborious efforts can pay off and lead to success and greater stature in life and social status. And the thing is, that which can be positive right there. Now, another thing about Capricorn rising, the ascendant is associated with one's early childhood. So the early childhood can be one where there's, he or she may experience more responsibilities than most children their age. Capricorn rising may have had to grow up earlier than most people. Um, it's also about, being a little bit more, despondent, as a young child as well, compared to other children on average their age. And there may have been some delays or restrictions that Capricorn rising may have had to deal with during their early childhood as well. Another thing too is that the ascendant is also associated with new beginnings. And the thing about Capricorn rising, new beginnings, they may be embarked on with a lot of seriousness, a lot of concentration, not letting a lot of extraneous things interfere with what they're doing. Might be done in a very methodical manner, and it's done often to attain a greater stature in life and social status. And as far as specifically like certain subjects, career endeavors that may be tied in with new beginnings for Capricorn rising, can include dentistry, accounting, information technology, masonry, business, some kind of political or government work, as some examples. And as far as the vitality goes for Capricorn rising, generally it's good. The Earth ascendants in general have a strong constitution. They have fairly, as far as their endurance is good, not as much, I would say, compared to the fire ascendants on average, but they still have at least adequate, powers in terms of their stamina and their energy level. Now, the thing about it is that Capricorn rising needs to be careful not to be overly melancholy, because that would think that may have an effect on one's energy level, and vitality could have an adverse effect on their energy level. Now, and they're generally about pacing themselves. The energy Capricorn rising can be very disciplined. Another thing, the body parts, associated with Capricorn include, the knees, the bones, the hamstrings, and the joints. So those are areas, that could be sensitive. At some point, there's more susceptibility to trauma in those areas than people with other ascendants on average, I would say, in general. Um, Another thing too is that the ascendant is also connected with a grandparent and people that were prominent in our early childhood. So one or more of those people may actually be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those characteristics. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.